Hello, CherieHanson here, sitting in my sparkly chair with my reminder for us during this time. Last night I was musing as I was walking, and I came up with the concept of Ireland and the Hells Angels Clubhouse. You may ask why those two things landed together. They did because I was thinking about how we have a reality we live in, we project, we abide in, and it looks obdurate, consistent, and perpetual. When I think about Ireland and what happened there, it kind of reminds me that all things change. In Ireland, the women were very oppressed. It was a situation where the Catholic Church had them locked into guilt and lack of power. An abortion was a crime against God. And this went on for decades and decades. And people would look at Ireland and the war between the Protestants and the Catholics, and they would look at the status of women and they would say, this is the way it is. This is what reality is, and it will never change. But something happened. The two sides got tired of the war. They could see that it was just hurting everyone. There was so much grief and so much sadness from the violence that the war ended. Women were given more rights, more autonomy, more choice about whether they did or didn't want to have children. And so that ended. The Hells Angels Clubhouse, just around the corner from the street I live on, was a sculpture of like East German duration that had bulletproof walls. It had cameras on the roof that would follow you when you walked by. It had this aggressive, masculine, violent presence in the neighborhood. And it has been there as long as I've lived here. It's 30 years. And then the Hells Angels were asked to vacate by the courts. And then the earth moving machines came in, and the various mechanical methods of removing all trace of it. And as I walked by every day, I could see more and more of those solid concrete walls being crushed in and carted away. And now it's just flat land. There is no record in the architecture of that lot to show that it was ever there. And I was thinking about those two examples of something that was so present and so oppressive. And people look at it and say, it can't be changed. It'll never change. We'll never have a better life, a better way of living, a more compassionate way of living, more choice, more equality. It'll never happen. And when I look at what happened in Ireland and what happened to the Hells Angels Clubhouse, which is just gone, it gives me heart. It gives me optimism that this time that we are going through right now, which is becoming, it's like a thumb screw. It really is. You're hearing these things and they're so horrible, and they can't screw it down any further. Oh yes, they can. There's more. No, there can't be more. And so if we can keep our minds intently focused on the good and intently focused on that which is, can dissolve with intention, with mindfulness, with a commitment to the good. And one day we'll look back and we'll think, man, when I was going through that, I never thought it would turn out so well. I never thought there would be a lesson in that would make the earth a better place to live on. But it did. So I just want to share that with you today. That's my that's my quirky evidence for things can change for the better. And I'm holding on to that. It's right here. I've got it right here in my hand. Please subscribe to my video. Not sure what's happening with my throat today. I don't think I want to know. And I want to ask you to give it a thumbs up, to move it up. If you have a kind and encouraging comment, I'm always thrilled to see that. Talk to your friends, share my videos with your friends. If you have somebody who's very down and who's saying, oh, it will never change, there's no way that will go away, just tell them, Ireland and the Hells Angels Clubhouse. So we have proof. And I want to, as I always do, thank you. I appreciate you.